Bearding the lion in her den, I see. Frances Devaney, my hotel manager, said. Frances had her brown hair cut short. Her wide-set brown eyes seemed to be able to see into the hearts of others. Today she wore a turquoise blue t-shirt and a white flowy skirt with a turquoise pattern, along with her usual tennis shoes. That's a very weird saying, I answered. I'm only going to try to be nice to a neighbor. As a newlywed, things were so rosy that I thought it might be a good thing to make nice with Melonie, my husband's ex-wife. After all, she'd become the new manager of the old-time photo shop, right next door to the McMurphy Hotel and Fudge Shop. The McMurphy had been owned and run by my family since it was built in the 1870s. Now it was my turn, and I loved nothing more than making fudge and giving fudge demonstrations while telling my Papa Liam's stories to the crowds. After my 10 o'clock demonstration, I gathered up a 5-slice box of fragrant fudges, from Traverse City dark chocolate cherry to Melonie's favorite, Rocky Road. At least, that's what I'd been told by the seniors I hung out with. They should know. They knew everything. I didn't expect a warm welcome and even braced myself for her to knock the box out of my hands. It's why I went close to lunchtime, when her shop was full and she couldn't really make a scene. As long as she lives next to us, we should at least be civil. Good luck with that, Frances said, without ever looking up. I sighed, knowing she was probably right, but I had to try. I hung up my chef's coat, then ran a hand over my hair, which I'd pulled up into a high bun, hoping the natural wave stayed in place this time. Then I waved to my assistant, Roxanne Jones, with her intelligent brown eyes and silver-streaked brown hair that she wore in a bun. The older woman proved invaluable to the fudge shop. She was an avid baker and had been quick to learn my fudge-making techniques. Now she was able to help on her own when I needed a day off. She took care of everything the week I got married, and for that I would be forever grateful. Taking a deep breath, I pasted on a smile and walked out the door of the McMurphy. The old-time photo shop specialized in portraits of people dressed in Victorian costumes. The costumes were provided in the back, along with 2 dressing rooms. The front of the shop looked like an old apothecary shop as an acknowledgement to the fact that film and cameras were generally sold in pharmacies. The studios were behind the window display and discreet. If I remembered right, once you went inside, you saw a modern camera setup with various scenic backgrounds rolled up or down, depending on the costumes the customers picked. Behind the screens were the costumes and the dressing rooms. I walked in to the sound of tinny, old-time music. Swallowing my trepidation, I stepped into the small studio waiting room, only to hear the camera clicking and clicking. I waited for the shoot to be over. It was the polite thing to do. But after 5 minutes, I got worried. No one ever took so many photos in a row. I stepped around the corner. No one was getting their picture taken. Confused, I looked at the camera, and then to the floor. There was Melonie. She wore one of her costumes and stared straight up. I put the fudge on the cash register counter and hurried to her side. Carefully, I shook her, but she didn't respond.